Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into something really interesting today?
Definitely. We're going to be tackling the power of storytelling.
In marketing, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not just like, those cheesy ads or
But then
slogans.
you see everywhere. Yeah,
Uh,
not that.
right. It's more about creating a story, a
Mhm.
narrative that really connects with people.
Everyone, I guess, right? Not just customers,
Exactly. It's about both the people inside your company.
employees.
Yeah. And of course, your customers too.
It's kind of like building a bridge, you
Yeah.
know, between your team and your audience.
That's a great way to put it. And we're going to be looking at Chapter 6 of Formula G, Scale Your Startup to a Growth Machine for this deep dive.
The art of storytelling, that's the chapter title.
Yep. So get ready to learn how to turn your employees into your biggest fans, the kind who really believe in what your company is doing.
The ones who just naturally share that excitement with everyone they meet. It's funny you mentioned that, and it reminds me of, have you ever met someone who's just so passionate about their work? It's contagious.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I remember this one time I went to this coffee shop, and the barista was like a total coffee nerd,
Aha, nice.
but in a good way.
Yeah.
He knew everything about the beans, the roasting process. It was fascinating, honestly. And it made me want to learn more. Like, I felt way more positive about the whole experience just because of his enthusiasm.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly the kind of energy we're talking about when employees are genuinely invested in the company's story.
It shows, doesn't it?
It totally does. They become like walking, talking embodiments of your brand.
So how do we make that happen?
Well, I guess the first thing to remember is that at its heart, marketing is all about storytelling.
Whether you're trying to reach new customers or, like you said, inspire your employees.
Yeah, you need a good story, a narrative that hooks people.
Especially these days when there's just so much noise out there.
Oh, yeah. So much information coming at us from all sides. It's like, imagine walking down a busy street.
Okay, yeah, I can picture that. Tons of shops, signs, people everywhere.
Exactly. How do you make your message stand out in all that chaos?
Good question. It's like, how do you make people stop and listen? You need something special to cut through the noise.
Right. And that's where the real art of external marketing comes in.
Crafting a story that grabs attention and leaves a mark on people.
Yes. Connecting with your audience on a deeper level, making them feel something.
Whether it's excitement, inspiration.
Or even a sense of belonging, right?
Yeah, like those ad campaigns that just stick with you. The ones that tell a story you can really connect with.
Like, think about Nike's Just Do It.
Oh yeah, classic.
It's not just about selling shoes, it's about inspiring people to push themselves further.
Or what about Dove's Real Beauty campaign?
Oh, that's a good one. Challenging those unrealistic beauty standards. Celebrating diversity.
Yeah, these campaigns work because they went beyond just selling a product. They told stories that resonated with people on a personal level.
Finding those shared values, right?
Yeah.
Connecting with your audience in a meaningful way.
Okay, so we've talked about external marketing, but what about the people on the inside, our employees?
That's where internal marketing comes in. Creating a company culture where people feel valued.
And inspired.
Exactly. Turning them into those true brand advocates, the ones who are proud to represent your company.
The ones who genuinely want to share your story with the world.
Yes.
But how do we actually do that? I mean, it's one thing to create a flashy ad, but how do you build that kind of deep-rooted enthusiasm within your team?
Well, it all starts with having a clear goal, I think. For your internal marketing, I mean.
Okay, so like what are we actually trying to achieve with all this?
Exactly. Are we trying to boost morale? You
Yeah.
know? Or is it about making sure a product launch goes smoothly?
Or maybe getting everyone on board with a new initiative.
Yeah. So once you have that goal in mind,
Then we figure out how to tell the story, right?
right. But this time, it's not about the customers, it's about your employees.
Making them feel like their work actually matters.
Yeah. Showing them how their work fits into the big picture.
How it helps the company succeed.
Exactly. And, it's got to be more than just telling them what to do, right?
Right, it's about making them feel like they're part of something bigger, something meaningful.
Yes. Answering that question, everyone has, what's in it for me?
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we make our employees feel like they're not just cogs in a machine?
One way is to use real stories
Stories
about how your company, your products, your services, how they've actually made a difference in people's lives.
can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say you're a software company. You could talk about how your software helped a business, streamlined their operations.
We made them more efficient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or how your software maybe helped people connect with each other.
Oh, I see. That makes it so much more real for employees. They can
Mm.
actually see the impact of what they're doing,
Yeah. And then there's all the ways we communicate internally.
like a company newsletter.
Yeah, or an intranet, or even just team building activities. It's all about creating a space where employees can share their ideas and feedback.
A space where they feel comfortable, right?
Exactly. One company that does this really well is Southwest Airlines.
Oh, yeah. They're known for having a great company culture,
Right. Their employees always seem so happy.
and it shows in the way they treat their customers.
It all goes back to their internal marketing. They empower their employees.
To be themselves.
Exactly. To have fun, to go the extra mile for customers. And you can just feel that authenticity.
Makes the whole experience so much better.
Yeah. It's contagious. And then, of course, you have to recognize and reward your employees.
Like saying thank you.
Yes, that goes a long way.
Yeah.
But it's also about celebrating those big milestones.
Acknowledging achievements.
Exactly. Making people feel valued. When that happens, they're way more likely to be engaged and motivated.
Makes them feel like they're part of a winning team.
Exactly. It gives them that sense of belonging, and that's super important.
But what happens when, what we say internally doesn't match up with what we're projecting to the outside world?
Oh, you mean like when a company says one thing but does another?
Yeah, it's like, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing.
That can be a real problem.
It undermines everything, doesn't it?
Totally. It makes people question your authenticity.
And it can really damage a company's reputation,
Absolutely. You have to be consistent.
both internally and externally.
Yes. So if you're promising, say, ethical and customer-centric values to the world.
Your employees need to live those values.
Exactly. Think about a company like Patagonia.
Oh, yeah, the outdoor clothing company.
They're really committed to sustainability. And it's not just talk.
They actually walk the walk.
Yes. They use recycled materials, reduce their impact on the environment, and they actually advocate for environmental causes.
It's not just about checking boxes for them. It's about genuinely believing in what they're doing.
And that shows, doesn't it? Both to their employees and their customers.
Okay, so how do we make sure those messages are aligned? How do we bridge that gap between internal and external marketing and create a unified narrative?
Well, I think it starts with being transparent,
Okay?
making sure everyone, like all your employees,
Understands the company's mission
yeah, the values, the goals, and then you got to share your marketing strategies.
with everyone,
Yeah.
even the folks who aren't in marketing,
Yeah, I think so. It's important to show them how their work connects to the big picture.
so they can see how they're contributing.
Exactly. And when people feel like their voices are being heard, like they're actually part of something.
They're going to be more engaged, more invested,
Absolutely. And that's going to show in the way they interact with customers.
so everyone wins.
Yeah. Happy employees, happy customers, happy business.
It all comes full circle.
It does. And, don't forget the best stories are often the real ones, the ones that come from personal experience.
Like those heartwarming customer service stories you hear about.
Yeah, exactly. So encourage your employees to share their stories. How has the company, the products, the services, how have those things impacted their lives?
Or the lives of their customers,
Right. Those are the stories that really connect with people.
because they're authentic, they're human.
Think about a company like Zappos.
They're famous for their customer service, right?
Yeah. They really empower their employees to go above and beyond, and they encourage them to share their stories.
Makes it part of the culture,
Exactly. It's like they've created a whole team of storytellers.
and that's powerful.
It is. Because when you do that, when you empower your employees to become storytellers.
You unlock a whole new level of potential.
Yes.
So I guess the key takeaway here is to tell a compelling story,
Both internally and externally.
connect with people on an emotional level,
Build relationships.
and create a culture of authenticity and transparency.
Yeah. Remember, the best stories are the true ones.
Yeah.
The ones that come from the heart.
So empower your employees to be themselves
To share their experiences.
and to become the best storytellers they can be.
Because when you do that, that's when the magic happens.
That's a great place to wrap things up, I think. What stories are you telling, both inside and outside your company? And how can you empower your employees to become those passionate storytellers? Think about that, and we'll see you next time.